Hey, welcome back to the shop, everybody. Today is an exciting day. We are going to test the Longer Nano 6-watt laser engraver. It's super lightweight, super portable, can do a lot of great things, and we're going to have fun with this. So let's unbox it right now. I'm going to show you how easy it is to put together, and we'll go from there. So as I'm unboxing this laser, I thought I'd share with you some thoughts about laser engraving. I bought a laser engraver about 2.5 years ago, and I paid for it in a matter of months with the work that I was doing. So it's a real good investment for your business. Personalization is such a big thing these days. And if you go on Etsy and do some research, you'll be blown away. So I highly recommend it. And this is a perfect laser for a beginner. It's powerful in the sense that it can do a lot of different things. It's flexible, it's portable, and it's perfect for the beginner. Okay, looks like I've got everything out here. Let's set this aside and I'll lay everything out. Okay, let's open the boxes and see what we have in here. I've got a power supply and our 4 screws, which we'll be using with this guy. Some angle brackets. I'll show you about those. Our thumb drive, that's important. And our bracket here. Okay. So obviously a lot of thought was given in putting this together. I've put together some other lasers that were really not a lot of fun to put together, quite frankly. This is a simple design, makes it easy to assemble. And let's open up the accessory pack, see what we have in here. One of the great things about having this small size laser, that it's just so incredibly portable. I have a CO2 laser out in the shop right now. It weighs 110 pounds. I'm not going anywhere with that thing. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is assemble the base plate right here to this. Okay. So this is the electric lift bracket, and that'll make more sense to you after we get everything assembled and we start using this thing. Nice little touch that they added, my little Allen wrench. I'm just going to get these finger tight to begin with, which is always a good thing. Okay. So again, this is a perfect entry-level laser engraver, ideal for the hobbyist, somebody who wants to have a business. And this would be great to take to craft shows. Think about that for a second. You could do some personalization of products for people while you're there. And you do need power, but even if they didn't have a cord for you, you could use like a Jackery 300-watt power supply, and you could run this thing all day. So that would be really cool. Definitely a great business opportunity. Okay. Very good. We are in business. So the next step is to install these L-shaped brackets. And what they do is, like, if you're going to do business cards, for instance, you'd want to be able to register this with these brackets. So very simply, I've got 4 screws, little knurl head guys right here, and they just mount like so. Now this is, to me, a real benefit. My two other lasers don't have this, so this is kind of a nice feature. We just square those up later. And later in the video, I am going to be doing some metal business cards. Okay. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to get this laser module mounted. All right, so we've got the laser mounting bracket here, and you can see right in here, we're just going to get this thing connected like so. And then the underside of the laser has this indent, and it just sets right there. And there's another knurled knob there. Okay. As you can see, it's going together really quick. I've never assembled one of these before, this particular style. Okay. This is our protective cover. And it's got a little built-in exhaust fan. We want to position that to the back. You can see the magnets here. They just click on like that. Okay. Now, I like these cords. They color coordinated everything, so you can't go wrong. Just like so. Okay, let me fish out the other cords and we'll work with those. All right, so now we have the blue cord that just goes right here, and it goes to a lift. Our power supply is going to plug in right here, and my red cable is going to go to my computer. It's got a USB connector. It'll just plug right into my laptop. There was a materials package that came with this. We have our ruler, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. We've got some aluminum business cards, and this is what I use for my business. They're really cool. We've got some paper that I'm assuming that we're going to be doing some cutting with. I've never done that before, but that'll be fun to experiment with. And a couple of pieces of basswood. We can engrave on this. This is nice and thin. I'm sure we can cut with this as well. We're going to put it through its paces, so we're going to find out. So now what we need to do is break out the laptop and get this unit connected to software, and we're going to talk about that right now. Okay, let's talk software for a minute. We have 3 different types of software that we can use to interface with the Nano 6 watt. We have Lightburn, which is the preeminent software. We have LaserBurn, and that's actually an app made by Longer. And then we have Laser GRBL. Today I'm going to be installing the Lightburn feature in the software and get it all connected so it's all talking. And just as a tidbit, Lightburn is a fairly powerful tool. You can get really deep in the weeds, kind of like an AutoCAD program, but you don't have to go that deep into it. So don't be intimidated by the software. So let's get the computer. We'll go ahead and get this connected to Lightburn, and I'll show you how to do that. I had mentioned earlier that this came with a little thumb drive. It's got a little micro SD card in here. So this has all sorts of important things that you need to be set up. Let's plug it in. Okay. Now it's actually showing only 3 items, but there are 4. Number 1 is videos, then we have manuals and software. So if we click on software, the first thing that you need to do is go to the CH340 driver, double click on that. We're going to choose between Windows or Mac. I'm running Windows, and I'm going to double click again. And now I'm going to hit setup right here. Now, I've already installed this on my system. And you click yes and follow the prompts. It's very simple. And then you'd exit out of that. So then you would go back to software, and here is your Lightburn. You can get, if you go to Lightburn, you can download this for free for the first 30 days. So you'll want to go ahead and do that as well. And I have Lightburn already installed, so I'm going to pull it up right now, and I'm going to show you a couple very important settings. Going back to that one software though, the CH340 driver, that is not in the manual as a requirement to get the Nano to work, but it is something that you need to download. So be aware of that. Okay, let's look, open up Lightburn. All right, let's get to a couple of settings so you can be successful. Let's go to Edit and go down to Device Settings. Click on that. You're going to want to make sure that the Enable Laser Fire button is on, showing green, and the same thing, laser on when firing. Mine was not set up this way, so that'll look like that most likely for you. So just turn that on. Make sure your framing is on as well. Okay. Now we have to go back down and click OK to accept that setting. And there we have it. Now let's get on to the next couple of settings. The next step is to go back to Edit, and we're going to scroll down to hit Settings. That brings up a bunch of fun stuff. We're going to go to Units and Grids, and we're going to make sure the millimeter to minute button is toggled on. Once that's done, just hit OK. Now, let's scoot this over just a little bit. We're going to go to Devices and click Import. We're going to go back to my longer file and hit Software, Open. And you click on the Laser Nano, which is the LVDev file. Click Open. And it now shows that it's loaded right here. So we'll click OK. We're dangerously close. Okay, if you look up right here, it says waiting for connection. That means it's waiting for your Nano to be turned on. So I've got it all plugged into my laptop. I'm going to hit the power button. And what I need to do is go down to Devices. I'm going to connect my Nano. Hit OK. And it did say choose before, but it connected automatically, and it'll go to COM5. So there you go, and it shows that your Nano is right there. It recognizes it. It goes through this little sequence, and it says, hey, everything's okay, which means we're ready to start engraving. So that's the first part. Now we're going to go do all the fun stuff. But by doing all of this, it's going to make sure that you have a successful startup and get your Nano 6-watt running properly. All right, let's do it. I had mentioned earlier one of the wonderful benefits of this small laser. That's my other laser in the background. It weighs 110 pounds, so definitely not portable. Okay, we need to talk safety before we do anything else. Longer sends these glasses. They protect your eyes from the laser beam, and that's really important. You can ruin your eyes if you're playing around looking at the laser without proper eye protection. And ventilation. These will give off fumes, smoke, if you will. And so normally I have, well, one of two things. I have a little enclosure that has a fan in it and exhaust to the outside. Or before I had that, I'd roll up the door a little bit, the garage door, and I'd open the man door and get some ventilation coming through. But you do want to keep that in mind. If you're looking for an enclosure I don't know if Longer has one. I'll have to check, but I bought one from Creality. Yeah, I think it was 90 bucks or something. So very inexpensive. So let's get started and have some fun. I'm going to walk you around the machine, show you the few buttons that there are to operate, show you how to focus the lens, and we're going to get going. This is such a simple laser, and that's that's really good. There's only a couple of buttons. We have the on-off button. Okay, you saw the lights, you can hear the fan. Now, we also have the laser focus button. See, we now have a couple of dots down there. What we do is we raise the laser up and down to get just one dot, and that tells us then we're focused. And the way you do that is by hitting these two buttons here, either up or down. So what I'm going to do is, remember, this is just on a little magnet, so that's easy to remove. You see our two dots there? We are out of focus. So I'm going to lower the laser down until I only see one dot. There you go. It's just that easy. Now there's a second way to do it. So for instance, if I had a piece of wood on this plate here, I would want to measure from the laser bed, I should say the laser material, to the bottom of the laser, and I want to be at 11. That's when you know it's perfectly adjusted. So it's super easy. Okay, time to engrave. As you can see, light burn is open. My Nano is turned on and it's gone through its little sequence. We're good to go. We're going to go over to File and hit Import. And I have different folders in my on my desktop, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. It's a logo. And it's going to be way too big. So what I'm going to do is come over here and just get rid of these numbers. And I'm going to put a value of 40 millimeters. Whoops, 40 millimeters. And I click on the height, and it automatically scales for me. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here to Cuts and Layers. And that's our image right here. And that tells me the speed and the power, 6,000 and 100%. And that is a good number for this particular project. If we were doing, say, a metal card, it might be different. Okay, now we're going to go back to console. Click on that. We have all the green lights here. And I'm going to reposition the camera so you can see this thing. We're going to hit the frame button. And the framing button is going to show us exactly where we're going to be printing or engraving. And here we go. Isn't that slick? So I'm just going to slide this over slightly. And again, this is just going to be a small engraving. Okay. I'm going to get this cover back on. And then we're going to fire up our focus. I'm going to lower down until it's all one dot. Perfect. I'm going to get my glasses on. And let's do it. Please be sure to hit subscribe and hit that bell so you get all my notifications. Thanks so much. That was fast. Let's take a look and see how it turned out. Hey, that's awesome. Nice crisp lines. And this is, it's a small logo. So that's beautiful. I'm very impressed. Okay, let's try something else. Next step, we're going to do a key ring. This is made out of wood and everything's framed. I'm going to go ahead and shoot this in time lapse, and I'm going to keep the cover off so you can see exactly what's going on. That was fast. And look at that. That's beautiful. Really did a great job. I'm very impressed. Those lines are super fine. Too cool. Let's try this bamboo pen. Bamboo is a little bit wonky with an engraver, but let's see what happens. Well, I've got to say that turned out pretty darn good. I'm impressed, and that took just a few seconds. So pretty neat. I'm real happy so far. I've got an aluminum business card ready to roll, and I'm going to use the same power settings. I don't know if this is going to work out, but we're going to give it a try. But the power setting was speed of 6,000 and 100% power. That was really fast, and I know from previous experience doing these cards on my X tool, you have to wipe off the residue, but check that out. Man, I am so impressed, and this is fast. Super cool. Okay, I've got a piece of paper lined up, and we're going to go ahead and try to cut it out. I've never worked with paper before, not part of my realm, but I've reduced the power to 60% and the speed I've increased to 10,000. I've got my spray bottle just in case we light this thing on fire. Well, that actually engraved the paper really pretty darn well. Huh. So that was at 6,000 speed and 60% power. That's cool. So maybe this isn't for cutting paper. Maybe this is just for engraving. That's kind of a cool effect. So the Nano 6 watt is really versatile. You can get accessories such as a bed extension, which would increase your working space from 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter to 100 by 300. And that's this guy right here. And then we have the Rotary. And rotaries are super popular these days because you can do cool things like engraving on mugs and water bottles and that sort of thing. You can, Christmas ornaments, baseballs. I've seen some pretty amazing things. So our next step is we're going to hook up, I think, the Rotary next and run it through its paces. Well, the Rotary was very simple to put together. It's really well built. I'm very impressed. Easy to operate. There's some minor changes that you make in light burn, and that was easy. I'm going to be shooting a video for you so you'll know what to do. I've got this dowel here. Let's go ahead and do my logo on that. We'll do that in time lapse. Well, that turned out really nice. My logo is small in this, and it's got some fine lines, and it picked up all that detail very nicely. I ran that at 6,000 speed and 100% power. I might actually slow that down to maybe 5,500, but the lines are good. I'm very impressed. So super cool. Well, in my next Rotary video, where I go through all the details and get you all set up properly, we're going to go ahead and engrave some of these mugs. They're really popular, and it's a good business opportunity for you. So stay tuned for that. So here's the slide extension. It just travels up and down this arm right here. And what it does for you is it changes your working area from 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter, which is about 4" by 4", to 100 by 300 millimeters. And effectively, that's about a 4" by 12" working surface. So that is pretty handy. This is ideal for some of the crafters that follow my Facebook page, and they do signs and things like this, little decorations. So this would be perfect for them. So let's give it a try. That did a really nice job. The bed extension was super easy to install. There's a minor adjustment you make in light burn, super easy as well. So that's a total win. Well, I've had an absolute blast with this machine. I went into it, not knowing what it would do, and I've got to say that I'm impressed. For a small unit, 6 watts, it does a great job engraving. It'll engrave on a lot of different materials, as you've seen, and it's so ridiculously portable. And again, it weighs nothing. So Longer has a cool phrase, and I am totally with them on this. mobile laser engraving anywhere, anytime. And that's about right. So one thing I didn't touch on is that with the portability, you can actually hold the laser just like this. And let's say you had a cabinet door that you wanted to engrave on. You could virtually do that with this machine just by holding it up right to the wood. So that's cool. Um, it's ideal for the crafter. It's ideal for the hobbyist. Uh, this is so portable. You know, you can take it to the craft fairs, as I had mentioned. So all in all, just amazing. The rotary tool is very good. It's well built. And stay tuned for my rotary video, which I'm going to get out in just a couple of days. It'll probably be out by the time you see this, but I'm going to show you how to not make the mistakes I did. And that was really involving Lightburn software and my lack of familiarity with it. This was not a Longer problem. This was a Derek problem. So there's that. There's so much opportunity with this. I can't share that with you enough. If you're looking for a side hustle and you want to make some money doing some fun things, this would be a good entry-level laser for you. I was just on Longer's website, and this unit is going for $499. That's an affordable laser, especially for the quality that you're getting. And they have some other lasers too. You might want to check that out. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. I'm here to help you. In the show notes, there's an affiliate link. I do get a very small percentage, and frankly, it helps me provide content and keep the lights on for you guys. So I would appreciate it if you'd use my affiliate. And if you buy something through Longer, through my affiliate link, send me an email. I'm going to have a preferred list so that if you are having a problem or want to have better settings or some sort of guidance, all you have to do is contact me and I'm going to help you out. So that's going to be a big benefit to you. All right. As always, click subscribe, hit the bell. I'd appreciate it. And lots more content coming, guys. So 2025 is going to be an exciting year. Thanks a lot.